Now I know what some of you are thinking.
Now, I know what you're thinking.
Now, I know what you're all thinking.
I know what you're thinking.
Now, I know what a lot of you are probably thinking right now.
What do you consider manly? Some would say Arnold Schwarzenegger and his muscles. Others would say Sylvester Stallone and his amazing job of justice. And some would even say Bruce Campbell and that chin. But what does an oddball such as myself consider manly? My Little Pony, friendship is magic. Now I know what some of you are thinking. You watch a show for little girls? Well, contrary to what you may think, there are more male teen to adult fans than there are young girl fans. That's how much of a phenomenon it has become. There are tons of internet jokes and hundreds of thousands of fans known as Bronies. In case you can't tell, I'm one of them. Now, I will be explaining the development, the plot, and what the show has become from the internet. Let's begin with the plot. The development. Lauren Foss came around the beginning of the My Little Pony series before Friendship is Magic. She found the older shows to be unimaginative, uninspired, and pretty much just trying to sell their products. So around the fourth show of My Little Pony, she was set as executive producer to make the show with the story, to have the stories be complex and, actually interesting. And also the art style would be completely different from the rest of the series, being more cartoonish. And the animation itself is Flash, which anyone who's used Flash before would know it is absolutely amazing animation. I can't necessarily show it as I can't show video, but the point is that it is absolutely amazing. Let's move on to the plot. In the magical land of Equestria, Pegasus and Unicorn alike roam amongst the world. Equestria is ruled by two princesses named Celestia and Luna. Celestia controlled the day, while Luna controlled the night. The Luna soon turns to the dark side of the Force, out of jealousy of her sister. She is now known as Nightmare Moon, at least for the first episode, but I don't feel like giving anything away. The main show is about intelligent. The main plot of the show is about an intelligent young mare named Twilight Sparkle, who meets 5 different friends: the adventurous Rainbow Dash, the country lack Applejack, the crazy partier Pinkie Pie, the shy Fluttershy, and the style-obsessed Rarity. Every new adventure is every new day is a new adventure, and new lessons to be learned, and new characters to meet. Not to mention, the cast is absolutely huge. Now the internet comes in and makes the series 100% more popular, and dare I say it, 20% cooler. And it all started on 4chan. On 4chan, there was a user that said, "OMG, Hack Source's show is amazing!" Other people gave it a shot and they agreed, "OMG, Hack Source's show is amazing!" So, they gave it a chance, and the show started a bunch of internet jokes, such as good old Derby Hoops over here. And there was even a high school student that calculated Rainbow Dash's move, known as the Sonic Rainbow, calculates at an average speed of 1,653 miles per second, which translates to about 15 Gs, more average in the human body, and breaks the color spectrum itself along with the sound barrier. That's right, a pony broke the sound barrier. Look it up, kids! Now, in conclusion, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic is a fantastic show. It deserves all the credit it gets. And honestly, I know some of you are skeptical when I'm talking about this. Because, it's a show for little girls. But, you gotta give it a chance. And you may be surprised. Become a Brony today. That's my speech. Thank you for listening.
Today I'm going to be talking about how I relate to the characters in the show My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic, and the song, and how it reflects on who I am. So, self-comparison, to start off with. These are the reasons why I chose My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic over everything else. It's made by the creators of some of my favourite animations from childhood and so on, like, I'm sure most of you watched Cartoon Network cartoons at least once in your life.
Yes.
Another reason, similarities between me and the characters, and also it's a guilty pleasure. So.
What? Explain further, guilty pleasure.
All questions will be at the end. So the animators.
He's good out there.
Here's some of the work that the previous animators have worked on. Powerpuff Girls.
Oh, I love Powerpuff Girls.
Dexter's Laboratory. Anyone?
Yep. Yeah. Okay.
There's a new one, Foster's Home for.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I've seen that. My brother.
So here are the characters. Now, Twilight Sparkle, when she first arrived in the town, when she arrived in Ponyville, I relate to them actually back in the UK, I was an antisocial person. I didn't have much friends.
That's not
It
even
wasn't
thinking
until
about
I
it.
came to a new land, which was Australia, where I made brand new friends and so on. She's quite a geeky person. Her head's always in a book, and she always wants to learn more. Another character is Applejack. She's strong, she's faithful to her friends, and loyal, and she won't give up on her
Looks
friends.
like a bit of a...
She's got... It's Pinkie Pie.
Oh, yeah.
She's quite an energetic get and go, and she may sound a bit confusing at first, but once you get to know me, or her in this case, you get to understand who they are truly inside. Another character would be Rainbow Dash.
Oh, Rainbow Dash.
Rainbow Dash is quite a sporty person, but she's a bit misunderstood. People take her for granted for what she looks like. Exactly. Misunderstood. She's not really, you know, homosexual, but I'm just saying she's just misunderstood. That's how I feel sometimes. But as with Pinkie Pie, once you get to know her, you finally understand who she is. Another character would be Fluttershy. Now Fluttershy is quite a quiet pony. She doesn't talk much, but she's an animal lover. But if her friends are in danger,
Animal herself.
yeah, you can say that, but
What do you mean you can say that? It's what it is, man.
in this magical land they all live in called the
Best
Quest.
presentation.
Yeah, all answers will be to your questions will be answered at the end. So, but if her friends are in danger, she'll get.
She will be the one to pull them out.
She'll be the one to pull them out. She will become courageous and save the day. And last but not least, there's Rarity. She's a kind-hearted pony. She's quite a fashionista.
She's like a unicorn to me.
Yeah, she's a pony unicorn. Yeah.
So, ponycorn.
Ponycorn, if you call her. Yes. But she's giving. She's charitable, and if her friends need something, she's happy to lend a hand. In conclusion to my presentation, I like My Little Pony. Deal with it. Nothing wrong with it. It's a guilty pleasure. I'm sure all of you have
Explain. Guilty pleasure to a further.
Well, some people have these like guilty pleasures of liking certain foods when no one else likes, or certain films or movies. Like, I'm just happy to say that My Little Pony is my guilty pleasure. We'll just leave it at that. Everybody's different, as you saw with the ponies, and as am I. And
Please excuse this interruption. Could a student from Miss Jackson's class come to the general office, please?
I'm proud of how different I am compared to everyone else, because inequity makes me who I am, and I'm nobody without some help from my friends.
So you're relating yourself to a pony.
Not just a pony, 6 ponies.
6 ponies.
6 ponies.
I'm almost done anyway. So thank you for your time. If there are any questions? Any questions?
Oh, what?
She's taking it. She's so look at Candy in the corner.
So any questions then?
Oh, no.
Any other pictures?
Are you gay?
No, I'm not. I'm just a fan of My Little Pony.
But seriously, you like watching My Little Pony?
There's nothing wrong with it.
I'm actually getting you here, man. Or did you just look it up for the things?
At first I looked up for a joke. It turned out not.
And you started watching it? No, you could all
Started watching it.
Didn't you say the other day that your mum asked you if you was gay because you was doing this song?
No,
Well, she did have her doubts, but yeah, she thought I was a bit delusional with the idea. Any other questions?
What's inequity?
Inequity.
Yeah.
I think I said inequity.
Yeah, what's that?
I'm unique.
Explain to what further.
Woo! Me too.
I want tears right now, guys. Just. That's it.
Okay.
Sure, we're
Go ahead and start now. Right, this is my presentation of a demonstration as well. Okay, and I've been trying very hard to keep all of you in the dark about that, and you'll see in a second. Alright, I'll give you a few clues quick. What is it? Well,
It's a very awesome show. It's very colorful. It's been around since the 1990s. It has some good lessons at the end of it. I'm pretty sure you all know what I'm talking about. Yes, I'm talking about Power Rangers. I'm going to show you how to be a Power Ranger today. No, not really. I'm joking. Come on, guys. You should know me better than that. No, I'm actually talking about My Little Pony. Now, I know what a lot of you are probably thinking right now. Yeah, what Spike says. But really, it's not as bad a show as some of you would probably make it out to be right away. And I'm sure a lot of you, because I did this too, I'm sure a lot of you are probably carrying hate from the last seasons because you didn't like those, and honestly, I did not either. So, there have been 4 series, or generations as what some people would call it. The first one was kind of adventurous with dragons and orcs. It really was not that great. Second one was a high school drama of girls getting boyfriends, and enough said. The third one, I don't even know. I just know it's sort of a combination of the last 2, and it didn't work out so great. The version 3.5 was when they were little babies, and that didn't work out so great. Now, Generation 4 is what I'm talking about. Why is this one different? Well, it had good animations. The problems of the stories were very unique and very awesome. Each character had its very own unique qualities and problems that they had to face. The lessons at the end were very good and very life important. And soon the population of this series grew. Oh, shoot. I clicked back. Alright, so what is a brony? A brony is a word that was created by the fans of a combination of the words bro and pony equaling brony. This is normally given to men and teens who like the show. Their ages range from about 16 to 40, or sometimes even older. Some girls who are fans of the show also like to be called bronies, but some of them prefer Pegasus, which is Pegasus and sister. Now, how can you become one too? Well, I did some research, and there's about 3 different types. There's a minimal requirement where you just watch the first season and you pick a favorite pony of the 6. There's a standard brony, which they watch season 2 as well. They sometimes collect some of the action figures. You have to tell your friends about it, and of course you have to wear shirts about it too. This is a good example. No, it's not mine. It's too small. This is mine. And of course, you also have to collect the action figures. These are not mine. These are my sister's. This one's mine. And more advanced brony is someone who watches the season 3 as well.
No, not you.
Someone who watches season 3 as well as a few other things. Oh, come on, stop going back. Now, what is an advanced brony? Well, there's about 3 different main types that I've seen. One, they can create music of their own creativity based on their love for the show. There's fan art, of course, and they make their own videos as well. Now, the music department, as I would call it, these guys watch the show, they can become inspired by characters or just something that they found in it, and they decide to make a song from it. Some examples are Discord and 20% Cooler. The art department. These guys are inspired by the creativity and the animation of the series and make their own versions, like the one on the bottom. Or some people who like the series and want to make a combination of it, such as the Avengers picture up there. Now, the film department. These guys are the most talented of the 3, I believe. They go out and they make their own custom stories and animations of the series. And they're really good. Like the top one, Snowdrop. That's about 15 minutes on YouTube. It's a very emotional story created by a fan. One on the bottom is more humorous, about Fluffy Puff, which is an extremely fluffy pony doing some adventures. And it's where there's some positives, there are also some negatives. And I've seen some of them, and they are questionable at best. Now, simple bronies. Well, these guys are basically your typical fans for anything. They would just go out, wear the merchandise, watch the series, collect ponies, whatever. And these guys also do something else unique. They name characters. These guys are all characters who just sit around in the background and do nothing. But they've noticed some of these guys and actually taken the time to give them names, like Doctor Who's, Final Scratch, Octavia, Derpy, the list goes on, frankly. Now, with every series, with everything on the internet nowadays, there's going to be trolls and there's going to be haters. I'm sure a few of you are in here right now. Now, why do they hate us? I honestly have no idea. Well, I went and I tried to do a little bit of research. Well, from what I came up with 3 main reasons. They either don't like it, because they think we're trying to enforce on their manhood, or something, I don't know. They hate it just because they don't like it, like from what they've seen from other series, and honestly, I was like that too. I mean, the other ones were terrible. Then I found this one and I thought it was quite interesting. Or, this is the most typical answer, they're just going to troll because they can. I mean, who doesn't? Now, the very interesting thing about these fans is that they create their own little way of dealing with trolls. Like, most of the time, when someone's hating on what you like, you're going to hit them back. And then they're going to hit back at you, you're going to hit back at them, whatever. But these guys, from their love from the show, they create something what they call to love and tolerate, which is actually a very good way to deal with them because and what I've found is that some haters and trolls on the internet actually have something going on with their life. And seeing this is actually very good because this can get to them, and then they'll draw them out in conversation. You'll find out there's something going on in their life, and it actually works out for the best. Now, from everything I've told you so far, from what I can see, you've got about 2 options here. 1, you're going to completely ignore everything I've just said, which I'm sure most of you will do. You're going to go on with your lives, you're going to do your project, you're going to go home, you're going to do whatever that isn't My Little Pony. Or, you're going to go home, you're going to give it to your curiosity, and you're going to give the show a try, which I greatly encourage, because it's actually a really good show. Now, as Boromir says down here, one does not simply watch My Little Pony for a few minutes. And I'm serious, like, when I first saw it, I was just going to watch the first episode and see how it was. I couldn't stop there. I had to watch the second one, because it's a 2-parter, and I had to watch the third one. Then I had to watch the 4th. Then I had to watch season 2, and then season 3. So, yeah, when he says you can't watch it for a few minutes, he's right. You can't. And I didn't. So, if you watch it, just be warned that when you do, you're not going to stop. And eventually, you may become a brony too. And the only thing I can say is, if you do become a brony, welcome to the herd. And that is all. Now some of you might see why I kept you in the dark so much with this one.
Mrs. Jason, I can't go after that. I'm sorry, but I can't go after that.
The shoot had to be the best thing. Yeah.
I can't go after that. I have no.
Oh yeah. I didn't. It started recording for like 30 seconds at a time, so like it's 30 seconds.
What? Are you serious?
Oh, jeez. What you talking about? I'm gonna go home and watch My Little Pony.
I'm just gonna keep recording.
He's
got an hour left.
Are we still recording?
Yeah.
Go get a drink.
Yes, go get a drink.
She already knew.
Enter to go to your next one.
Really?
Yeah.
Alright, so guys, we have Robert.
I'm ready to go.
Robert, when you're ready. Total respect.
Go
ahead, start.
3, 2, 1. Alright. My presentation is on hydrogen, and if you can read, which I hope you can, you're in 9th grade, come on. Yeah, there'll be ponies on every slide. Anyways, it's periodic facts. Its name is hydrogen, symbol is H. Protons is 1, neutrons are 0. I believe this can vary. Its electrons are 1, valence electrons 1, mass number 1, atomic number 1, atomic mass 1.00784. It's non-metal, noble gas. Noble gas. Did you get that all down? Good. And it is combustible. Be noted, this is not what most hydrogen explosions look like. Most hydrogen explosions look more like firework. More like a firework, not so much as a mushroom cloud, Saturn ring thingy. It's very reactive because it only has one valence electron, octet rule and such. And it is the lightest thing known. Because hydrogen has a lack of stuff, it is light. It's lighter than air. You can put it in balloons, and if you inhale it, you'll make your voice more high pitched, like helium. And of course, my last slide saying blah blah blah. There are more interesting elements. Go out and learn about them. And thank you for putting up with my pictures of ponies. And here are a couple of other ones. Any questions?
I have one.
What? What is interesting facts?
Interesting. I already said it's combustible. It's the light, and it's the lightest thing known.
William, it's just.
I got a question.
Yes.
Is it stable or non-stable?
It's non. I said it's non-stable. It's combustible.
It's okay.
Robert, they're just asking questions.
Why are you recording it?
What?
Why are you recording the question?
Why am I what?
Why are you recording it?
Oh,
Why? Because really because I can. And yet,
That's our mouth.
Triana, stop.
Husband, not Cheyenne.
No, I'm talking to Triana to ask a question. I'm asking you to stop.
Like, what do ponies have to do?
nothing. Ponies have absolutely nothing to do with anything I gave. I've just put ponies in this to give the PowerPoint more life.
Ponies?
It was still like.
Alright,
last question.
This is not about ponies.
Stop.
And you and
Last question.
What family do it come from?
it's a noble black gas, but it's located near the alkaline family.
Thank you.
Alkaline.
Thank you so much. Everybody.
This is my Little Pony / Brony presentation. Well, now, I know what you're thinking. Why would a guy like me be into a show like My Little Pony? Let me stop you right there. Let me explain. No matter what age, what gender, what race, whatever you are allowed to like whatever you want. Now, allow me to tell you about my obsession. I did leave the Brony community for a few months, but I got back into the fandom because I was really busy with stuff. Now, let me tell you about my favorite ponies in the show. My faves are Rainbow Dash and Pinkie Pie. Rainbow Dash because she reminds me of myself, cool and hip. And Pinkie Pie because she likes parties and I also like parties because I've never been to I've never had my own birthday party because none of my friends never came to them. So that's why, because I've never been to a party before, I've never had my own party before. I have been to other people's parties, but I haven't had my own. So that's why I like parties and such, yeah.
Easy do.
But I've never had one of my own. Thanks for listening. Okay, cut it.
You good? Yeah. Alright, so for those who know me, know that I'm very passionate about a particular TV show. For those of you who don't know what I'm talking about My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. Now, I know what you're all thinking. You watch a show for little girls? Well, just watch it. Skip it. Thank you. Apologies about this. Technical difficulties. So, as you can see, that's not for little girls. In fact, there are more male fans of this show than there are younger female fans. The older fans mainly aging from ages 13 to 30. And we are known as Bronies. So, I'm not going to get into the whole history of the fandom and how we started. That involves a website known as 4chan. I don't really want to talk about them. They're famous for hackers and porn. That's why I don't want to talk about them. So, what do? Well, we obviously watch the show.
I just do a great thing just run a super duper spectacular welcome party and invite everyone in Ponyville. See? And now you have lots and lots of friends.
That's one thing we do.
I just do a great...
We also create fan arts. This was done by a bunch of fans who did a massive collage. We write fan fiction. This is a picture from a story called Milo Dashi, one of my personal favourite fan fictions. And we create music. So, one thing we get a lot of is hate and criticism. Obviously not by choice. Why? Well, this is the way that I view the situation. By watching a show that others and outsiders think is for little girls, we challenge the definition of masculinity. Outsiders may think that we're all meant to drink beer and that men are all meant to watch sports. But says who? No one. Philosopher John Stuart Mill once said that we tend to accept what is usual as natural. Bronies, in fact, challenge this normality. But this isn't the first time this has happened. 40 years ago, it was unusual for a man to stay at home and raise a child, or for a woman to work in an office. But as more men started becoming stay-at-home dads and more corporate positions started caring for women, we started to stretch the gender stereotypes and what they mean to society. And society slowly started to open up its arms. One of my favourite quotes that really supports this is actually from the My Little Pony of Friendship is Magic creator herself, Lauren Faust. She says this:
If bronies are taking these lessons to heart, we need to allow men to be sensitive and to care about one another and not call them weak for caring.
And that's pretty much what I'd like all of you to take away from this presentation. Not just in the land of Equestria, where my favourite ponies live, but also on our planet on Earth. Don't just judge someone just based on their gender and the stereotypes. Start to be more open and accept them for who they are. And do what we bronies do and love and tolerate them. And if you do decide to give in to your curiosity, hope you enjoy the show and I hope you enjoy the fandom. Welcome to the herd. Brohill.
There you go. Awesome. Alright. We are doing a PowerPoint on Freaks Incorporated by Anthony Clarice and Thomas Allen. Madame Cooper once said, "Pony hat, pony pack, get my pony on my back." Which is pretty awesome. Alright, management. I am the owner of this corporation, and the workers are usually adults and about the ages from 18 plus. Thomas over here is a consecutive coffee deliverer, and 150 workers in factories. Yes, they are ponies. Go ahead and read the objectives.
Yep. Things we plan to accomplish. 1. To stop Hot Topic dead in its tracks with its lame choice in undetailed clothing wear. 2. To bring better cartoon designs for shirts and better collectible merchandise. 3. Spread the punk/pony nation.
Targets. We are targeting teenagers from the ages of 13 plus to about the ages of 27 to 31. We plan on opening stores in malls and in the very urban cities to promote a better income. Our products that we'll be selling will greatly influence the purchase of any cartooned items, for example, bronies.
Research. According to New York, Texas, and is that Rhode Island?
Yes.
BronyCon has been surfacing for years with a large corporation that makes 110 to 125 million a year off their merchandise. Outside of BronyCon, Comic-Con, and AnightFest as well sell our products as a large investment.
Products. We have t-shirts, hoodies, gauges, collectibles, action figures, CDs, energy drinks, and even snapbacks that have ponies all over them. Yeah, they've got tattoos. I've seen a few pony tattoos out there. They're pretty awesome. Go ahead.
Price. Due to the huge popularity and the cost of making, hoodies will be $34.99, action figures from $5.99 to $10.99, gauges $10.99 to $21.99, and CDs, BronyCon passes may vary.
Promotion. After purchasing an item, you save up tokens for free items. You may enter to join for free BronyCon and Comic-Con passes. Swag.
Benefits. The products from this soon-to-be widespread store would be the customers would get quality items, and you as investors would make a fast buck.
Hours. We'd be open Monday through Friday and Saturday from 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. I'll go ahead and read this. Gimme yo Casio. We're asking for $100,000 to finance our building and to pay for the transportation of our products. This product will suck the cash out of the teenagers. There's over 16 million bronies worldwide, and you'll get 20% of the profit. Shut up and take my money.
Extra. Pinkie Pie is best pony. Rainbow Dash is full of swag. Problem? Culture.
Yes. And thank you.
Yeah.
Alright. It's for for a ballsy thing. Alright. A brony is alright. A brony is a dude who like spends his time watching MLP, gets on the fan bases, not 4chan. 4chan will ruin your life.
Good thing I don't understand what you're saying.
Okay. My Little Pony, the TV show. Dudes that watch My Little Pony, and they've got a fascination about it. It's pretty awesome.
My 7-year-old sister watched it.
Your 7-year-old sister is amazing.
Me and Lucy watched it over somewhere.
There you go. We got some bronies over there too.
My Little Pony is for anyone. It's not really just for little girls.
Dudes that watch MLP and are with the fan base. I'm a brony.
Starting to be.
Conformity. No, it's more of like the TV series. They don't really have video games for My Little Pony, but if they did, I'd own it.
I would too.
You are amazing. Pinkie Pie is best pony. Alright.
Hello, my name is Robert Volpe, and I would like to thank you all for coming today and listening. I'm a student here at UW Parkside, as you all know, and planning on studying television production and film animation. And today I'm going to talk to you about a group of people that have been growing for over the past 4 years, and they are called bronies. Now, some of you might know what this is, and if you know what it is, you might be thinking, oh god, and from the merchandise up here, you also might be thinking, oh god. But a brony is an older male fan of the show My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. Now, I can tell by some of the expressions, you're like, a guy who likes My Little Pony. Is this some sort of bad joke? It is not. Trust me, that's what I thought in the beginning as well. But this is pretty new. I mean, a lot of you may remember My Little Pony from the older generations, starting in the 1980s to 2008, spanning over 3 generations of TV series which were created to market children's toys. And generally, it was, made for little girls. That was the target audience. Make them watch the show, get them to go buy the toys. A lot of TV shows do that nowadays, and actually that's kind of the failing of a lot of TV shows. But in 2010, Hasbro, the creators of My Little Pony, coupled with the Discovery Network, they pretty much killed Discovery Kids and started a new network called The Hub. And this was one of the piloting shows, My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. And, well, there was hope for it. It was mainly meant to market toys again. And when it aired, a lot of critics around the internet who had decided to go watch the show, because, that's what people do. They watch, they critique, we all do it, had written some positive and very negative reviews about the show. Well, those reviews made their way through the internet, and to places like DeviantArt, Facebook, 4chan, mainly 4chan. A lot of people saw these reviews, such as guys, and they're like, well, they're putting such an in-depth review into a little kid's show. Why don't we go watch it? So they went and so guys started to go watching it, and they found that the show wasn't terrible. There was good storylines, good animation, and I realize this is mainly what I'm talking about that other bronies have said online and such. And they generally liked the show. It had a good tone. It wasn't the namby-pamby little princess tea party dress-up story you hear in every single little girl show. But this became a growing thing. They started things such as BronyCon. They started making fan art, music, everything you can possibly imagine. And me personally, I first heard the show from my friend Mikkel. He had said, hey dude, there's this awesome show, and I'm like, what? My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, and I'm just like, yeah, have fun with that. Well, finally, after probably a year of nagging, I sat down and I watched the show, and watched the first 2 episodes. I'm like, okay, decent, probably gonna be downhill from here. Kept watching, next. And by the end of the night, I was halfway through the first season, and I was hooked. And the show, it's a personal experience for everyone. Everybody has their own reasons for liking it. But bronies themselves, yes, it is weird. I will stipulate it is weird, and is, even though it's been here for the past 4 years, it is still a growing trend. But the important thing to remember is that it's challenging social norms, and that's something that, that is kind of interesting. It's challenging social norms and eliminating the gender barrier. You do have the dark parts of that fandom, but you have the dark parts of every single fandom. And these people aren't just bronies, they are fans of many other things, such as, Star Wars, Star Trek, different animes, you name it. So, they've done a lot of merchandise that is, sold at Hot Topic, like these shirts, these collectibles, and, this right here, it's a little Derpy badge. Derpy is a pony, very cool pony. And it's, something that was handcrafted and fan-made and sold. And if you have any other questions, you can ask me about them. If I can't answer all your questions, then there's this great YouTube video that I got some of my information from by a username by the name of SaberSpark. It's called The Brony Chronicles, a documentary on My Little Pony and bronies. Trust me, great information, and it's an hour long. So you ever have an hour of your time? I could probably keep talking, but I don't have that amount of time. So that is the Brony community. Thank you for coming and listening.
Okay, so as you guys know, I'm doing My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. So basically, I want you guys to totally think of everything that you knew about My Little Pony before, including this, and just put it aside for the next 5 minutes. It's a totally new generation, a totally new cartoon. It's totally a fresh slate in that. So this brings us to why do men watch My Little Pony? Because it's awesome. There are these guys called bronies, basically. There's a huge internet following of guys who watch My Little Pony. I'm one of them. I love the show. It's awesome. I'm not a pedophile. I get that surprisingly large amount. It's really an awesome show because the characters are extremely relatable. They have character flaws. They have their upsides to their personality. They're very solid characters. They're always the same character. They almost never actually go out of character. The voice acting is really great, and all the people who voice them are very great singers. They have great singing voices. The graphics are just way better than most other cartoons. There's a different storyline. There's 2 kinds of storylines for each episode. Adventure, which kind of actually carries a risk of death in most times, but isn't acknowledged because it's a kid's show. And then there's slice of life ones that they're mostly funny, but they all carry a very heavy message behind them. The creators kind of acknowledge the fan base of guys, which is weird because the show's main directive is to young girls. So, and then there's a nostalgic value that people really get when they watch cartoons from their childhood that they haven't watched in 10 years. It really just kind of makes you feel good, makes you feel safe, like you're a kid again. And the character design, all the characters are really relatable, as I've said. They have flaws and they have upsides, which makes them seem more like real people and less like something that somebody made up. They all have a special talent, which they have this thing called a cutie mark on their flank, which is kind of like a tattoo. It appears when they discover their special talent, and that's their special talent throughout their life. Each of the main 6 characters has a pet that kind of reflects their personality, and their occupations all kind of relate to their special talents. This is Twilight Sparkle. She's arguably the main character. The one on the left is how she actually appears in the show, and the one on the top right and the bottom right are actually fan art, things that people have made of her. Yeah, it's different than Twilight. This is Rarity. She's a unicorn also, I forgot to mention. Twilight Sparkle is a unicorn, which means she can use magic, which is pretty awesome. Her special talent is magic. Rarity, her special talent, as you can see by her cutie mark, is fashion designing. She's a dressmaker in Ponyville. Yeah. Pinkie Pie, her cutie mark is balloons. Her special talent is making people laugh. It's kind of weird, but it's pretty cool. She has a pet alligator who's 1 year old and doesn't have any teeth. He's gummy, bites stuff a lot. This is Applejack. On the right is a human rendering that people do a lot. It's kind of a crossover, and the other two are her family. Her cutie mark is 3 apples. She works in Sweet Apple Acres, which is a orchard. She bucks apples, which means she kicks the trees and the apples fall in buckets, and she sells bunches of apples. And this is Rainbow Dash. Her special talent is just speed. She's a Pegasus, so she can fly. She goes extremely fast. Her job is weather patrol. She controls the weather in Ponyville. And on the right is another piece of fan art involving her and Pinkie Pie. And this is Fluttershy. Her special talent is she has the ability to kind of communicate with animals. She unconditionally loves every living thing. She's actually my favorite character. On the right is a fan art rendering of her. There's kind of an inside joke that Fluttershy would like to be a tree. So that's somebody make Fluttershy a tree. And this is a YouTube video.
Greetings and good afternoon. I'm here today to tell you about a pony. How big of a pony? I hear you all gasp. Well, truth be told, it is only a little pony. But whose pony? I hear you all clamoring to know. Well, truth be told again, it is my pony. My little pony. I'm also here to tell you about friendship, which is unavoidable because for me and my little pony, friendship is magic. Really, this is what I've come here today to tell you about. The televised sensation, My Little Pony, Friendship is Magic. Now, I assure you, friendship is most definitely magic, though that title is a little misleading. After all, there are many more than one pony, and they belong to each of us. We are left to decide what they mean to us and how we will make them a part of our lives. To aid you in this, I'd like to quickly introduce you to just a few of them. First, we have Twilight Sparkle, the principal focus of the first few episodes. Though at present the show has evolved to feature more of an ensemble cast. Twilight, or Miss Sparkle, is a learned scholar, knowledgeable about many, many things. Tragically, however, her extensive education fell short on the subject of friendship. She is apprenticed to Princess Celestia, the powerful and magical ruler of the kingdom of Equestria, where our faithful cast make their home. Celestia is steward of Twilight Sparkle in magical matters, but for the sake of science has tasked Miss Sparkle with researching friendship. With this aim, and her trusty, if oft-abused, assistant, the baby dragon Spike in tow, Twilight comes to make her home in Ponyville, where the remainder of our principal characters can be found. So, next now, in our whirlwind tour of behooved geniality, comes Pinkie Pie. Born Pinkamena Diane Pie, Pinkie is the pony embodiment of laughter. Her zany antics and famously raucous parties bring joy and jubilation to every pony's face, just as her incredible musical compositions fill their hearts with song. Having come of age and earned her cutie mark on a rock farm, Pinkie is no stranger to productive work, and when not engaged in recreation, she may be found baking cupcakes and helping local small businesses. In that vein of valuable food-producing labor, the next introduction is to Applejack, who embodies honesty. Applejack and her family at Sweet Apple Farms are the foremost producers of apples and apple accessories in the Ponyville area. Apples are a staple of the pony diet, and so the tireless efforts of the entire Apple clan preserve the health, vitality, and enviable lifestyles of each and every pony. Applejack also provides a valuable can-do work ethic, whether it be clearing snow for winter wrap-up or working to benefit her fellow ponies in the orchard. Indeed, Applejack's powerful personality and physical prowess are matched only by her occasional rival and quintessentially loyal pony, Rainbow Dash. It has been well documented that every other member of the main six owe their cutie marks and, in fact, their entire purposes in life to none other than this lightning-quick, courageous master of daring do. It really can't be overstated what a total badass Rainbow Dash is. As a leading pony producer of attitude and awesome, she is indisputably the best pony in the cast and arguably the greatest pony who has ever lived. Just ask Lulu. Also, she once high-fived a phoenix. While Well over on the other end of the awesomeness spectrum rests the two worst members of our beloved MOP FIM cast, Fluttershy and Rarity, but we'll get to her later. Fluttershy is the token bitch pony. She is shy, quiet, lacking in perseverance and in personality. She likes animals, which would be cute if she didn't let this obsession drive her to kidnapping and high treason. Don't get me wrong, Fluttershy has gotten the cast out of a few scrapes. Like that time she saved them from that manticore by sheer fucking luck and her profound ignorance about creatures of myth, or the time she saved the Cutie Mark Crusaders. Except let me run that by you again. She saved the Cutie Mark Crusaders, which is bad enough and made worse by the fact that they wouldn't have needed saving if Fluttershy could babysit for shit. Now, it may sound like I dislike Fluttershy. That is nothing, zara, zilch, compared to the special kind of vitriolic contempt I harbor for our last cast member, Rarity. Rarity is easily, and without contest or question, the worst thing to stand on four legs. Worse than the Hydra, who tried to kill them all. Worse than that Ursa Minor, who tried to kill them all. Worse than that Manticore, who tried to kill them all, and worse than Nightmare Moon, who tried to kill them all. Rarity is pompous, self-obsessed, vain, jealous, gaudy, shallow, delusional, and in all other fashions unworthy of ponydom. She, her cat, and the remainder of her sniveling kin deserve naught but hard labor in the mines until their dying breath. There's absolutely no defense for Rarity. Finally, I thought to introduce a few of the notable background ponies who make weekly life in Equestria such a treat. This is Photo Finish, trendy fashion designer and creator of The Magics. Also, we have the prominent Derpy Hooves, a recurring and visibly handicapped pony. Wherever her ambling peepers go, mirthful laughter is sure to follow. Also, another fandom darling is Dr. Hooves. Ponyville's resident Time Lord is forever dashing about the background, setting time right so that our main cast may live blissfully ignorant of the terrible temporal turmoil which threatens constantly total disaster all around them. So, that's an admittedly light dusting in the characters and a bit of the myth of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. I hope none of you bridled too much, and that a few more of you will leave ponies than came in today. Don't forget to tip your haters.
Alright, well, everyone knows me. I did mine on My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. And first pony on our to-do list is Twilight Sparkle. She lives in a library. This is actually her house in the background. Her element of harmony is magic. She's a unicorn pony. You can see the horn here. Her cutie mark is purple and a white star surrounded by 5 white smaller stars. She lives, like I said, lives in a treehouse library. She's actually like a total was one for her. She's a bookworm. She lives in a library. She knows a little bit about a lot.
A little bit about a lot.
Yes. Whenever any of the other ponies in Ponyville have a problem, they generally go to her. She probably knows. It's Applejack. Her element of harmony is honesty. She's an earth pony. She doesn't really have any special powers. She's stuck in here with the rest of us. Her cutie mark is 3 red apples. And she works and lives on Sweet Apple Acres. They have a massive apple tree farm. And once a year they produce apple ciders they sell to help fund the rest of the supplies from the farm. She has a brother, Big Macintosh, and a sister, Apple Bloom. You have no idea how hard it was to try and find a picture of those two together, so that's why he's not here. This is Fluttershy. Why is this clicking? Why does that sound so bad? Let's try that again. Let's fail. Her element of harmony is kindness. That's actually a little joke from the episode, the last episode of season 1, the Grand Galloping Gala. Come on. Okay, fine. Difficult. She's a Pegasus pony. She has, wings. She flies around. She lives in a house because she's a Pegasus pony who's afraid of heights. Her cutie mark is 3 pink and blue butterflies. She is also extremely shy, which is how this joke comes in. She's never like that except when you totally irritate her. And she loves animals. This is Pinkie Pie. Her element of harmony is laughter. She's generally the party pony of the group. Or another earth pony. Her cutie mark is 3 balloons, hence party pony. She lives at the Sugar Cube Corner Bakery with the Cake family. It's Mr. and Mrs. Cake. There are 2 children, Pumpkin and Pound Cake. You jelly? We got Rarity. Her element of harmony is generosity, which is kind of funny because she's really stuck up. She's a unicorn pony. Her cutie mark is 3 blue diamonds. This is her own store, Rarity's Boutique. She makes clothing for other ponies, which you can kind of see how it's a joke. She designs outfits and dresses, like I was saying. And she has one sister, Sweetie Belle. This is Rainbow Dash. I don't know why these. Okay, whatever, sure. Element of harmony is loyalty. She's a Pegasus pony. She lives in Clydesdale. She's actually, there's where she lives. Her cutie mark is a cloud with a rainbow projecting from it. Lives in Clydesdale, and she's the 20% cooler pony, which is a fan term from an episode where Rarity's designing dresses for them for the Grand Galloping Galette. Rainbow Dash says her dress needs to be 20% cooler than the rest of them. Let's see, and here we have my sister's favorite pony, Derpy Hooves. Why do you have to do She is the first fan-named pony to speak in the series. She showed up as a background pony in one of the very first episodes, and her eyes were offset like this. That's how she got the name Derpy, because she has this odd look on her face. She's a Pegasus pony, also lives in Clydesdale. Her cutie mark is Bubbles, which, random fact, is Derpy Ho's cutie mark came from the Powerpuff Girls TV series with Powerpuff Girl Bubbles was also total ditzy like her. Yeah, she got a nickname Derpy from the way her eyes looked and her antics. I mean, seriously, she was jumping on an electrical cloud. Then we have my favorite pony. This is Princess Luna. She is the Moon Princess. She's an alicorn, which means she has a horn and wings. Her cutie mark is a crescent moon on a dark blue background. And she's the best pony in the series. She has one sister, Princess Celestia. This is where they live. This is Canterlot. And that's what I've got for you.
Way of making even the worst of times into something pretty great. These words from Twilight Sparkle are, I'd say, pretty perfect. Because all of my friends have had a time when I was sad and they just cheered me up and they turned a terrible time into a great one. So imagine if each one of you had 40,000 or more of those friends. Each one of these people also share a common interest with you. These people would be bronies, the fans of My Little Pony. So today I'm here to discuss who can be a brony, why people are bronies, and why the community is special. So first I'm going to talk about who can be a brony. Well, anybody at all could be a brony. Males and females of all ages are bronies. And it doesn't matter if they like cartoons or they like live-action movies and stuff. They all like it. But people who watched cartoons from the late 90s, like the Powerpuff Girls or Johnny Bravo, they told me that they get the same feeling they had back then as they do now. And actually, the most common thing is friends watching My Little Pony.
friends watching a show about friends would be, I mean, pretty obvious to me. So, now that you know who watches My Little Pony, I want you to know why. Every single person who watches this show gets asked this question, so I feel like it needs to be explained. The first thing, every single person I interviewed answered the same. Don't pop up like that. Okay. Every single person I interviewed answered the exact same thing. The first thing they all said was that the animation is very smooth and beautiful. That it's not made to look funny, and it's not made to look like somebody just threw it together. You can tell that the artist spent time working on this. Another thing is, along with the great animation, there's an amazing story. Unlike most shows, this show is 22 minutes in length, with commercials for the other 8 minutes. So that has a full time to develop a story to its crowd. And these stories aren't dumbed down for little kids to be able to understand. Anybody at all can get enjoyment from these shows. And actually, another thing that people like is the happiness that they get when they're watching friends learn about friendship and the magic of friendship, which is kind of corny, but I mean, it makes sense to me. And the last thing is actually the community. People like how the community comes together and talks about the show and just can have a good time together. So here I have a little video for you so you can see some of the animation. And it is a song from the season finale of Season 2. And I hope you can understand a little bit of the story since it tells basically the whole story of the episode. Put the speakers on. So as you can probably tell, there's a crazy pony and one that's trapped in caves. And the crazy one's trying to marry her husband, and there's a lot more story in those 2 episodes than I have seen in almost any other cartoon. So I felt like that would help me explain this